Sure, not a problem. Hey guys, good morning. Well, it's morning where I'm from. My name is Peter. Let me go ahead and this is my introduction slide. Um, my name is Peter Wang. I live in San Francisco, small city. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. Based in California, and I've been working in the advertising industry for about 7 years now. I worked 3 years in a agency called AKQA. They're the largest digital ad agency here in the West Coast. And I worked on brands such as Yahoo, Audi, Coca-Cola, Target. And after 3 years, I moved on to other working with other startups for about 4 years. I've worked with one new startup a year. And one thing I really love about this field, this particular field of marketing, is that with me working with startups, you would a lot of the companies that made logical sense to me didn't take off, right? I would, and this made me think, like, is there another factor involved in like in a company's success? And this is what got me into advertising, is that basically what this online advertising is doing is cutting through the noise, cutting through the static of other of information. We live in this world where there's so many things available to us that we don't know who to listen to, what to listen to. And online advertising to me just reflects the science of getting people's attention. Um, Narek, if I could ask you a favor, right now my presentation screen is taking up the whole screen, so I'm not able to see the chat that's
Ah,
coming off to the side. If you can keep an eye on that, and when I ask for questions, if there are any questions popping up on that, could you read them to me?
yeah. I'm
Cool. Thank
following.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So moving on, if there's anything that you guys can get away from today, is that the basic growth hacker strategy is threefold, right? Spreading the word, giving them a reason to stay, and keeping them engaged. One thing to take away from this presentation is that growth hacking, online marketing, advertising, whatever, all of it is related. The ads are related to the landing page, which is related to your social media engagement, which is related to your email. All of this is related. If you guys are working with an ad agency, they should have a plan. They should be giving you advice on how to change your landing page. You also should be changing your landing page quite a bit, and you should be engaging with clients. And you should be emailing. All of this is interrelated, and you'll soon find out as I go through this presentation. But if there's one thing to take away from this, it's that that marketing is an interdisciplinary subject, right? You have, as well as working on ads, you also have to work on your landing page as well as working on your outreach. So that being said, let's dive right into it. I split this presentation into three parts. The three parts are listed here. The first part is called spreading the word, or getting users to your website. Now, the first step is pretty simple: reaching out to your network. Like, traditional word of mouth is still a powerful way to get customers on board. Telling your friends, family, colleagues about your product and asking them to spread the word is always a great strategy, right? And I'm thinking a lot of you guys on this call are business owners yourselves, so this is no news to you.
Yeah. Sorry, Peter. I'll interrupt on one small thing. Uh,
Yes.
so what you think? Let's say, shall we? I think there is going to be some difference between B2B and B2C thing, right? If my
Hmm.
client is a business, uh, and how I'm going to reach them, and how I'm going to, let's say, how much shall I focus on marketing and how much shall I focus on sales, right?
Um, with that question, I can't 100% answer, just because it's going to vary from business to business. If you, like, for example, for me, I also run my own agency, GYF, which I actually forgot to mention. When I first started out, I this is this is something that's 100% client based. So I focus mostly on sales and little on marketing. But if you created a company that sold something, like let's say if I created a company that sold a better phone device to track your calls, then I would want to focus on like 60% sales, 40% marketing. A lot of this is uh, unique to each company, but that being said, even if you started a B2B company, you still can reach out to your personal network, and it's something as
Right.
easy as, hey, I'm starting this thing. My company will solve this problem. If you know anyone that that is dealing with this, please let me know. You know, like your network, it can still be your champion, and reach out to people, or just like, yeah, just telling people in your network to keep you in mind when they come across someone that is looking for your service.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So the first tip I want to go into is something called hijacking traffic, or leveraging another website's traffic for your gain. Now, basically, this is redirecting traffic from a popular website to your site. One of the best success stories using this technique is a company called Airbnb. Now, when Airbnb started off, they had a lot of trouble getting clicks to their listings, and therefore a lot of renters are not getting enough bookings. And this is because, Airbnb just started out, no one really heard of them. A lot of people were kind of a little bit hesitant because this is a really unheard of website doing a really unheard of thing. So what Airbnb did to get a lot of traction was they actually used Craigslist traffic. They would take out advertising in Craigslist posts, saying, "Hey, we're listing this apartment at this area from this time to this time." And since Craigslist has a lot of traffic anyway, that's what Airbnb used to just like slowly gather traffic. Um, Tinder did this in a different light. Tinder actually took this offline. So Tinder started off in USC, University of Southern California in LA, and the people of Tinder reached out to the most popular sorority at the time, Delta Delta Delta, and got them to get on this app. Once they got the sorority, they went around and got the most popular fraternity and got them to be on this app. So they had two really powerful social powerhouses that used this to spread it around the USC campus. And then they just went around and got a localized Facebook campaign and since they're already a trending topic on Facebook, their cost per click was a lot cheaper. Anyone have any questions on this?
Um,
One thing is so I guess I'll add one more thing. How this relates to you guys is, if you can all think of what your ideal demographic is, like who are your customers, where do they like to hang out online, and how are you able to get them from the website that they hang out on to your website? So
yeah.
one thing I
We get
do is,
one question actually. Like, how
okay,
do you find if you are a trending topic on Facebook?
how do you find if you're a trending topic on Facebook? The answer to that is, you will know. If you are a trending topic on Facebook, then you will see your well, first of all, you will definitely see your links being linked out. But secondly, if you have your own Facebook page, or if you have your own yeah, if you have your own Facebook page, you get another menu called Insights. If you click on Insights, it's going to tell you all the analytics regarding your Facebook page and regarding your Facebook topic. So the first thing is, if you want to be a trending topic on Facebook, the first thing to do, I suggest, is to get a Facebook account, or get a Facebook page account, which is the official Facebook for a business, a product, or whatever you are representing.
Right. Right.
And one thing I do, or another tip I will leave with this topic is I like to go find a community on Facebook and be involved within that community. So my ideal demographic for my own business would be startups that just acquired Series A funding, or small businesses that have cleared a certain level of income and are now exploring advertising. So I would find out where they like to be. Typically, it's advertising forums or investor forums, and I would go in there and contribute and post and be involved in that community, and therefore I get the traffic of that community to my website. Quora is another good example from this, but as I think Narek and I were talking about this earlier, with Quora, you have to be extra careful and not to be spammy. But that's actually an important tip for all websites. Don't just create one message and spam. Actively be involved in the community.
Yeah, so I will add on this, since we were experimenting a little bit with Quora. So if you are like a startup, or if you are like a, yeah, developer and coding and kind of trying to market your app or a website, like you see sometimes like in Quora, there are like answers are so long, such a long answers that, and for a good content there is a lot of research work required sometimes, and even some people like put infographics sometimes. Making a good infographic, for that you even need a designer. Sometimes you should get someone from Fiverr or from some other place. And in Quora, I think there is some percent like that happened with me. Like we hired someone and we asked, can you find categories of questions, this type of questions, and answer them. And I got an email that my profile is banned on that questions. So, and they removed my answers, but even they were good answers. So I wasted some money on that. So I'm just sharing a tip. You should be careful with Quora, like, but it brings you really good traffic, like quality of leads. If we say, yeah, it's better there.
Awesome. Great. Yeah, exactly. With this type of technique takes a lot of finesse, and a it's not an easy thing. It takes a lot of time, but once you put the time in there, the traffic that you get is very high quality traffic, and it would really pay off. Now, another tip I'm going to go into is targeting online publications. Now, if you get a reporter to be interested in your company, this can get a lot of attention in a very fast amount of time, depending on the publication. Something like if you get your article published on Mashable or TechCrunch or Fast Company or The Atlantic, um, this can generate a lot of traffic in a really short amount of time. If you have a more niche product, like if you are selling health products, being on Mind Body Green is also a lot of traffic really important, just because even though you don't get a lot of traffic from MindBody, you still get the right product that you want. So a good tip would be picking one or two relevant publications that make sense for your business, and then you spend time selling to those publications on your product and offer something unique, such as exclusive coverage of your product launch. Another good tip is to follow journalists on Twitter for a while and get a sense of the type of content that they write. Then you'll find a clever way to connect your product to a theme that interests them. So a company called Attentive did exactly this, and they got a great story launched on Fast Company. Any questions on this?
So yeah, and do you know some reporters like and I heard if they charge something, because I got in touch with some agency and they said should pay like some good number. Uh,
Yes.
yeah.
So if this feels like too much work, you could definitely reach out to a PR agency. PR agencies have reporters that they work with regularly, so they are able to disseminate stories that way. Although PR agencies get pretty pricey, I know that the minimum they're looking for is about 8K a month. I don't know if you guys have 8K a month to spend, but if you do, give it to me and I'll help you. um, but uh, the a good way, well, a good way to find reporters would be, I mean, again, following them on Twitter is a good way. Another way is that you can take this offline and just see if there are any reporters talking about something in your industry in your area. Do they go to a bar they frequent? Is there meetups? Can you go to conferences that have reporters there? And when you are at conferences, can you reach out to the people, to the media people at those conferences, and pitch them on your idea that way? Reaching out to reporters, is one half of it. The other half is creating your own press release. Like, if if you are able to get the attention of a reporter, if the reporter talks to you, if they email you back, if they even reach out to you, can you craft your message in a way that they would want to report on it? If you come, if they reach out to you and then you say, "Oh, hey, I created this company and it's X successful and I want to get more attention." That is the most boringest story of a company I've ever heard. There's like 500 companies out there that are doing exactly what you're doing. But if you went around and said, "Hey, I'm creating a company that is aimed to target this particular problem of my city," like for example, San Francisco has a huge homeless problem. So if I said, "Hey, I'm creating a company that's trying to target the homeless problem in San Francisco. I'm doing this by um, offering jobs or offering a rebate, or for every a product you buy, I'm going to go out and give a homeless person one meal," then the reporters could go with that. They could run with that and create a really empowering story.
Right. So I'll share one experience on contacting with PR agency. Like if you heard of PR Newswire,
Hmm.
so yeah, so they charged us around $1,000, and content is on our site. We gave them the content, and interesting thing is like they have their channels. They published it, but after a few days, we saw like all the links which were published in their affiliate website were like expired.
Oh
So
wow.
it was just published for I don't know, like for a few days. So PR Newswire didn't work, and we didn't get any single maybe uh, kind of visit to our website from there because traffic didn't change. So I'm just saying like that's something where you can see like, oh, we got published in some of the in some website which is a famous affiliate of PR Newswire. Let's say
Hmm.
entrepreneur.com, because like from entrepreneur.com I received an email that they charge around $1,500, but only for being published in India. So if you want to publish like all over the world, like you are doing something good or big, whatever the content is, you can give them a poor content, they will work on it. I think it costs.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, yeah,
Hello?
yeah. So we are here. Yeah,
Cool. Yeah, I heard you.
yeah. So yeah, that's something which you should kind of, if you're a startup, you should kind of check your budget. Like sometimes these websites, you can just go to your client and say, uh, yeah, we're published in Entrepreneur, but eventually it's very hard to say like what will be like ROI on that. Like, yeah, yeah. So
Exactly. Yeah, great advice. Yeah, always check your sources. Figure out if the source you want to reach out to, if it's even worthwhile for you to reach out to.
right.
Um, Next up is a technique I like. It's a lot easier, in my opinion, to get training here, and this is to reach out to bloggers. Now, bloggers and other online influencers have a huge audience. Even better, their readers trust them. So reaching out to bloggers on sites and asking them to review your product is my favorite approach. You can drive huge numbers of new prospects this way, and online reviews can often keep on driving sales years into the future as people track them down in search results. Even the small blogs can help drive hundreds of sales over time, particularly when the review is thoughtful and well written. Now, these bloggers are a really, really good way for you to another good.
One sec. Yeah, yeah, Peter, one sec. Oh, who is Tay? Tay, interesting. I think Peter is muted. Uh, One second, interesting. Tay, you there? Uh, Seems Tay muted Peter. Welcome. Yeah, interesting. Tay, hello. Um, Sorry, Tay, but can you unmute Peter? I don't know how you're. I think you muted him. Please do that, else I need to eject you. Interesting. Yeah. Oh wow. I think interesting. Where is Peter? Oh, is this a Google bug or what? It was unexpected. Um, and wow, this is interesting, guys. Guys, do you know how to fix this? Even I'm not sure where to find this control to unmute Peter. It's I'm unmuting him, but nothing is happening.
Oh, hi.
Oh,
Can you
Peter.
hear me?
Oh yeah, yeah. Seems you now. Seems you muted yourself then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was getting notification that Tay muted you.
Weird.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so where did we leave off?
About reaching to other bloggers.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Uh, all right. So again, so bloggers and other online influencers have a huge audience. Wait one second. All right, cool. I'm still unmuted. That was weird. I guess it automatically muted myself. Um, Bloggers and other online influencers have a huge audience. Right? Even better, their readers trust them. Reaching out to bloggers on sites and asking them to review your product, you can drive huge numbers of new prospects this way. Online reviews can often keep on driving sales for years into the future as people track them down in search results. Even small blogs can often drive hundreds of sales over time, particularly when the review is well written and thoughtful. Um, Blogging, like reaching out to bloggers, is my favorite way of approaching this as opposed to reporters, just because have a bloggers are more likely to reach out to you. Maybe not these three. Oopsies, I'm sorry. Maybe not these three that I've showed because these are very popular blogs. one's Seth Godin, this one's Guy Kawasaki, and each of them probably get about 1 million hits. The bloggers that you'd want to reach out to are much smaller. They're, the ones that get about 50,000 to 100,000 views or reads. These are the bloggers that you actually do want to reach out to. Medium.com is a really good way for you to look for writers. They Each writer on Medium has their own blog, and with Medium, it's
How
just
much,
one
how
source that
much
you
do
can
they
use.
charge? I believe like that is their business, right? That's the way they earn money also. They build
I'm sorry.
already, let's say bloggers already built an online reputation, right? And
Right.
the way like how they are going to earn money also, like they have 1 million views, they are not going for like for nothing, kind of just send the traffic to your website, right?
Um, Yeah, they Medium has their own way of tracking, but but if you just go on Medium as a reader, they can, like they'll even recommend certain writers to you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and a way, every single blog has a contact button right here, and you can use this to contact the bloggers directly. From my experience, I found that bloggers are much more friendlier and much easier to reach out to than reporters, and they would be more than happy to talk about your, like they usually they work off of cross promotion. So if you also have a Facebook following, and then it's just a matter of them promoting you and you promoting them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions on this front?
Um, I think, yeah, I think that was great.
Okay, cool. So moving on. No talk about getting people online is complete without talking about online advertising. So let me go ahead and give you guys a brief overview about online advertising. This can be a really effective way to drive traffic to your website, and it doesn't have to be expensive. $1,000 can go a long way on any medium. And if you don't have any experience with this, then you can go ahead and hire a pro like me. So, and reason why is because keyword selection is really, and optimization is really, really important in driving down the cost. So this, if you, what you guys are looking at right now is called a buyer's funnel. Now, a buyer's funnel is a concept that's that was created by Google when they created their monetization engine, aka Google AdWords. The buying funnel is just a way for them to conceptualize the thought process that somebody has when they are trying to make a big purchase, whether it's a computer, a car, a jet ski, a house. Um, Either case, anything, everyone goes through this stage whether you know it or not. The first stage is called awareness. I recently bought a Surface Pro 4 tablet, and I became aware of that I want to buy a computer when my current old computer died. When going down to consideration would just be like, okay, do I want a tablet? Do I want a desktop? Do I want a laptop? I settled with a tablet because this job requires me to travel and do presentations, and the tablet is just the best machine out there to do presentations. Preference. So I decided to pick on a tablet. So what are my preferences? I can have an iPad. I can have a Surface Pro. I can have a Dell. I decided to stick with it, go for a Surface. I bought it. I liked it. So I'm loyal. And then the more people I talk to about it would just be advocacy stage. Now, marketing typically, or online marketing typically falls under two functions. There's top of the funnel and bottom of the funnel. The difference is the way the users interact with the internet. So the top of the funnel marketing is directed towards users that are browsing, whereas bottom of the funnel marketing is directed towards users that are searching. So best example, top of the funnel, Facebook ads, bottom of the funnel, Google AdWords. Um, Other types of top of the funnel marketing is display, Outbrain, Reddit, and Yahoo Gemini. Now, all of these things have one thing in common: is that they are there for users to see, but they don't really focus on clicks. If you look at any type of display data, display actually gets very, 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 very low clicks, and it's because people there's no guarantee that whatever you're showing people are interested at that particular moment. Whereas bottom of the funnel marketing with Google AdWords specifically, you notice that they are actually triggered by whatever keywords you search, which means that whatever you're searching, you're seeing the ads that you want to be seeing. Other forms of bottom of the funnel marketing is retargeting. Retargeting is when you visit a website and you leave, you start receiving ads from that particular website. This is because obviously, if you've been to that website, then you're at some level interested, and therefore they want you to keep coming back. Amazon does a really good job at this retargeting function. Actually, a lot of e-commerce businesses really rely on retargeting because one of the big challenges with e-commerce is shopping cart abandonment, which means when people select enough items to go to the shopping cart and they don't pay. So what you have instead is you have those ads that follow you around saying, hey, you still have 10 items or you still have something in the shopping cart, click here and we'll give you 10% off or something like that. Facebook advertising is kind of bottom of the funnel as well because they do what you search does affect the newsfeed, but a lot less so. And and then you have your email drip campaigns, which are just ways for you when someone submits their email on your website. It's your tech, whatever you use to reach out to them.
Yeah, I think like most of the people here like are startup guys. So and with low budgets, let's say, even one of the participants asked if I'm a bootstrap startup, what shall I do? Even I have same question like, let's say one click in LinkedIn costs for me $11.
Uh-huh.
In Google, it is $3, and
Right.
uh, and in Facebook, I don't know actually how Facebook works. It's 0.3, right? Facebook looks
Mhm.
like cheapest. But when we, let's say, launched a campaign on Facebook, Facebook was constantly sending, let's say, X amount of people every day to our website, but 100% bounce rate. And but Facebook has like very, you can select, I exactly want this type of people. It gives you like a very,
Right.
very kind of a big choice, like to narrow down your target.
Question. If so, you're saying Facebook is sending you people to your site, but you're getting 100% bounce rate. How many people are they sending to your site?
Like 15 to 20. I was just
15.
experimenting, yeah.
I see, 15 to 20. Okay. So when you're seeing a data when you're seeing that situation happening, then there's two. You could come up with two conclusions.
Yeah.
One conclusion is that your number is too small, and you need to kind of well, three conclusions actually. One is that the 15 to 20 people, the number is way too small, um, and you would need a good sample size of at least like 100 to
Uh,
properly test. Um, 100 clicks, 100 people coming to your website. The second thing is that maybe the demographic that you're choosing is not related to your website.
mhm.
Maybe experiment with a different demographic. And the third thing is that your landing page is not converting well. So I actually want to go ahead and that's the landing page design aspect of it is a topic for another presentation because I could spend hours talking about that, and I'm actually working on that presentation um,
Yeah.
on my free time. So maybe in the future I could go ahead and talk about that. aspect of it. But those are the three things to consider. Maybe
Yeah,
sample size.
even we got like same question from a participant, like same issue that they are facing with same issue. Is there like algorithm in Facebook so they just show you the number that they sent to the people, or because actually it's not working? And I asked to a lot of people, for them it's like if especially your B2B like Facebook is not working. So let's say LinkedIn
Do
works.
you do
Yeah.
you mean that? Could you repeat that question again?
So if I read right, Gypsy, if you want to unmute yourself and you can ask a question. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, thanks. So we have a B2C product,
Uh-huh.
and it's a subscription box model, and we launched an ad campaign on Facebook, and it increased our traffic like by 2 or 3 times, several hundred customers or clicks on our page, but zero conversions. So
I
we're
see.
suspecting.
So how many? So it increased your customer base by several hundred, but when they got to your website, it's zero. You don't zero conversions.
Correct.
What is your definition of a conversion?
So we launched a landing page with this for people to subscribe to this subscription box model, and they can do that through a PayPal pay button and
I
credit
see.
card.
So your initial ask is for people to pay directly to the subscription
Correct.
box.
Correct.
Is there another barrier? Like, do you have them create an account first and then pay, or do you have? Is there another? So it's directly a pay.
Direct PayPal button, so they get to PayPal, and so it's sort of a pre-order thing. So like we're working on the back end to integrate so that you have an account and everything. But for now, it's more of a pre-order, and it just goes through one. It's a WordPress plugin that is just one PayPal button.
Cool. I could give you my initial thoughts now, but I would, if you would like, reach out to me after this presentation, and I could give you a little another in-depth look. But what it sounds like is, it sounds like your initial ask for users is too high. Right now, you said you were just starting out this company.
Yeah, but we already before starting the Facebook ads, we went on a we had an initial launch campaign of ads on a very specific site, very narrow target audience, and there we had like 80 subscriptions within 30 weeks, which was way higher than we expected. We thought we would have 10 to 15 in a month.
Right.
So that was a good start. But then when we went to a broader audience, it flattened out.
What demographic or what type of people are you targeting on Facebook?
Male, 20 to 40 years old, and then we clicked on like people who liked other subscription services, people who travel, and people who like food. So it's snacks that we offer from different countries, and so we try to find characteristics that would fit this this profile.
Yeah, it sounds like something like with something like Facebook, either your demographic is too broad, or your landing page is not. Your landing page may be just right for that particular audience when you launch on another site, but for Facebook, maybe either the ask is too high, or the advertising is not congruent with the landing page message. I'd be interested in checking that out more, but that's from what it sounds like, that would be my guess.
That was my gut feeling too. That might have to do, and we're not near where we want to be with the landing page, so we're gonna put more work into that. But we were hoping at least to have like a few subscriptions, but that was kind of astonishing.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll be happy to reach out to you after this presentation.
Good. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions?
From me for now, not. So I will mute myself again.
No, yeah, that was actually more to the group.
Great.
All right. Well, so no other questions, then let me move on. So we've talked about how to get people to your website. Now let's talk about what to do when they're on your website. The first, this technique is called setting up a wait list, right? If you have a product that's coming out, or if you have a product that is, if you have a website out first and something else that's coming out later, or if you just want to just build hype, a wait list is a really, really good way to start the buzz. This works extremely well for online services and mobile apps, particularly if you offer incentives for people to sign up, such as a free account for the first 3 months. Look at the mastery of Mailbox, which unfortunately is defunct now, but when it was up, it managed to build a huge wait list of over 800,000 people. And what they use? They use a clever user interface to tell people how many others were in front of them, how many were behind them in line to use the app. This basically gave them a really addictive interface that gave people a hit of dopamine every time they checked in. Other games, however, use this as a way to for them to gain early access. In fact, when I worked with my old company Talenseer, we used this method to build hype. This is a really good way for you to insert a video of what your company does, and a really good way to collect emails. The purpose of a waitlist is to collect emails. Once you get the emails, then you can start building out your client list and advertising to the people directly. Oh,
yeah.
Another thing. Oh, sorry. Did anyone have any questions about this before I moved on?
No.
Okay. All right. So another thing that is, and the most important thing actually, to be on your website is content. Now, these are 3 examples of content. One exists. This one is from a personal friend of mine. His website. This is, oopsies. This is a YouTube page. This is a Facebook page. All of this is examples of content. And right now, in the world of inbound marketing, content is king. Content marketing is a great way to acquire new customers. By creating genuinely useful content, giving it away for free, you can drive visitors to your site and also establish yourself as the thought leader. If you have a budget, hire a good writer. But if not, I'll go over rules for content. So the company called Buffer, their CEO managed to get 100,000 customers just from writing guest posts on other people's sites. Those same articles will still be delivering hundreds and thousands of new customers each month with no additional effort. If you are a good writer, this is a great way for you to spread your name. And even if you guys are familiar with the website called Shopify, they actually got popular because of a blog that they started called One Lemonade Stand, which is now incorporated into Shopify. But One Lemonade Stand is a blog for entrepreneurs and giving them real and useful tips on how to start an e-commerce business, how to figure out which software is good for you. And that one is just that blog got more popular than Shopify at one point. And then eventually it got incorporated within Shopify. That I would say that blog is probably the reason why Shopify got so popular.
Sorry to interrupt. Gypsy was asking, what's the name of this service? Is it the mailbox? The one recent?
Oh, wait, the one I was talking about is called Buffer.
Buffer.
Buffer is
it's
similar to Hootsuite. It basically syncs up all of your.
Yeah. But on a previous site, the one which you said for emails.
Oh yeah. No, this for. Oops, sorry. On this slide, yeah, I said buffer. I use buffer. Or, I'm sorry, I said mailbox, and I use mailbox and as an example of how they use this technique to generate hype. Unfortunately, mailbox is not in service anymore, so I should
Mail
update
team,
my
mail team.
mailbox.
Yeah.
No. Oh yeah, Mailchimp is a different. It's a website used to
Uh,
send mass emails to your potential clients. Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Right. So if you guys want to write content yourself, these are the 6 rules that I have for content. Um, your website, your blog should be updated at least once a week. Reason why the once a week rule is there is because not because of the users, but because Google's algorithm scrapes your website once a week to check for any updates, and an updated website, it gets ranked higher than an unupdated website. Um, Google's definition for for keeping a website up to date is that you have to change something on your website once a week, and that's why companies have blogs. It's the easiest way to show Google that your website is changing once a week. The second rule is that quantity beats quality. What I mean by this is the more content you push out, the better. Just because if you spend a long, like 2 or 3 weeks trying to like craft that great article, that great video, that great infographic, it's less likely that it's going to trend just because there's so much quality out there, so many content out there in the internet that you need to keep up with the rest. Everyone else, all the other bloggers are updating, like once a week at least. Some of them are doing twice a week, some of them are doing 1 post a day, some of them are doing multiple posts a day. Like, what are you doing to keep up with the rest of the crowd? The third rule is don't focus on original content. And what I mean by this is that it's great that you write your articles yourself, but every once in a while you can always repost somebody's someone else's article. And this is great if you're trying to establish relationships with other bloggers. If you say like, hey, let me repost your article, and in return I'll let you repost my article. Which brings me to the fourth one: don't steal. If you're trying to repost someone else's article, then ask if you can ask for permission, or even just if you're not doing a cross post exchange, even just like doing a shout out, like, hey, I got this article. At the very bottom of your post, you can say like, this article was from this person at this blog. Rule number 5: have variety. Meaning, if you don't just post articles, you can do articles, you can do a video, you can do some images. Keep it fresh, right? Because in this day and age, you can assume that everybody online has ADD, and everyone online has about 15 seconds of attention before they lose attention. So what can you do to capture their attention within the 15-second time period that you have? A good technique I use is that whenever I see an article, if I publish a blog article and it gets really, really popular, I'll then turn it into a comic or an infographic or something visual. If that gets really, really popular, then I'll turn that into a video. So this saves me from creating new content, but at the same time, it still gives me the right kind of medium that I can push out. Also, the last one: create for your customers and not for yourself. Meaning, write something that your customers would want to read, not something that you want to write. I spoke with a video production company called Tar Productions a while back, and I was consulting them on the type of media that they should be, or the type of content they should be pushing out. In the past, they were writing a lot of articles that talk about like, oh, how to do videography, how to shoot, what kind of cameras are the best, and each of these articles are roughly getting like 6 to 9 views a week, which is really, really low. Um, and the reason for that is because they're basically creating content for other videographers and not the clients who want to hire videographers. I went in and I said, all right, well, why don't you talk about success stories? Talk about, like talk about people who have benefited from video. Talk about people who really want to use video in their business plans, and they did that in their next post. They roughly got about 100 to 200 views a week, so that was a huge boost. And that's a very important rule, just because you want to make sure that the things you write or the content you push out is actually entertaining or informative for your audience. Anyone have any questions on this?
Yeah, I have a question. Like,
Yes.
for a bootstrap startup, let's say doing a video is at least like $2,000, right?
Yes.
So that already like it's which one of these things has highest ROI? Everyone are writing blogs, like why they should, let's say, land on my website, like.
Narek, real fast, what is your company? In one sentence.
So in one sentence, let's say we are a talent as a service platform.
Talent as a service platform. Okay, so people go on your website and they are looking for a certain type of talent to complete a certain type of job.
Right. We're like similar to Upwork, let's say, but more of a
Okay. So your potential customers would then be small business owners that can't afford to hire full time, so then they want like a freelancer,
yeah,
or people who utilize freelancers, right? So in your case, I would say if you want a really cheap way to generate content, articles would be really important, just because people in the B2B field, they love reading articles, but if the types of articles you write would mainly be for the employers and not the employees, and that's the point that I was trying to get at. If you write articles talking about like success stories on customers using your platform and then helping out their business, that would get a lot more attention than the top 10 websites that you can use to hire freelancers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right. I don't have questions. Yeah. And okay.
Moving on.
Okay. So one question: is there
Yes.
any chance to cheaply get content writers for a blog?
Yes, there is a way to cheaply get content writers for a blog. I use websites like Fiverr for that. The only issue, or maybe, I mean, Narek, I'm sure you have freelancers on your website as well.
Yeah.
The only thing about that is, if a cheap writer will give you a cheap product.
Right.
A cheap writer, like if you hire a writer for cheap, I personally feel like I might as well just write the articles myself, just because the quality that I get back it's not very. If you're trying to keep up with quantity, then hiring a cheap writer would do it justice. But if you want to write a very targeted article, I would almost do it yourself, just because you know your audience and you know what your audience would want to read and what they don't want to read. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, and from my experience, what I do, so it won't cost much. Like we just write few important sentences, what we want there to be, and we hire like some freelancer and put some more text between these sentences.
Oh,
yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
yeah.
All right, cool. So Another thing I want to talk about is opt-ins. Now, a lot of successful online startups have a freemium model to get users on board. This lets people try your product with no risk, which can encourage them to sign up for the paid service or product. However, make sure you strike a balance. Don't cripple your free option, but keep enough back to make people want to upgrade. Dropbox is one example of a product that gets this right, giving you enough free storage to get you interested in its ecosystem and invite your friends to join and collaborate. Before you know it, your Dropbox is full and you're handing over, oops, sorry. And you're basically handing over your email. That's exactly how they got me. I had a Dropbox subscription from day one, and I had about 4 or 5 gigs with them, and I just kept uploading my pictures. And then they said, "Hey, your box is full. If you want to upgrade to a terabyte, that's $20 a month." Or I'm sorry, $20. I think I paid like $100 a year or something. But to the person that just asked me the question about his subscription service, this I don't know if you have a free month call to action, but I would also try this out and see if you're able to give your subscribers one free month to try and see if that affects your conversions or not. Basically, these free opt-ins are very, very important. A lot of people online, they immediately focus on the word free, free, free. Um, Try it for free. Try a free trial period. A free 30-day trial period, 60-day trial period. These are very powerful words, and these words get people to do things within the short amount of time that you guys have. Anyone have any questions on this?
Yeah. So Gypsy is asking like they started with 50% discount for a limited time, and is it working for you? That this went with 50% discount for a limited time. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. If this is something that's working for you, then I wouldn't want to change it too much. Obviously, it'd be a lot better to test.
Right.
And I always think if you test everything and you'll be good. If you can be able to just test every single plan strategy you have, then that would be great. But then at the same time, if something is working really well for you, then I mean, don't change it. But typically, depends on what you're selling. I've seen the get 50% off for a limited time work really well, but typically the ones that these things, what you would have to have a really good name associated with it, or a solution to something that's really, really like if you're the first company to have a solution to this thing, then offering 50% is pretty good. Otherwise, if you're just another company, if you're in a very saturated field, then your 50% call to action may not be as strong as free. But I don't know. That's very. This just sounds like something that's very testable.
Okay. So we should go with trials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So moving on. Working with early adopters. Actually, whoopsies, that arrow is pointed to the wrong direction. It is this one. This is early adopters. This arrow should be pointed like right, oopsies, like to this orange part. But anyway, your first customers are the most important. They bought your product for a reason, so you can learn a huge amount from them. Create a personal relationship with them. Listen to what they have to say, and you'll get great insights. and they'll tell other people about your product. Early adopters have smart opinions about products and they have a good sense of the market, so always be sure to pay careful attention to them. Any questions on this front?
Nope.
All right. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Suspense is the next. So building suspense is another great way for you to get to keep your users engaged or keep them staying on your website. Suspense is a great way to build excitement before your launch. Creating a drip feed of information about your upcoming product is a great way to gain visits and hits to your website. This will make people curious, and then they'll definitely want to know more about your product, particularly if you reveal the details a little bit at a time. The more you give away, the less interesting it becomes. So try to get people excited without giving so much content. This and the early adopter one would relate really well with the last stage of it about keeping them engaged, which is the final leg of this presentation. And basically keeping them engaged just means like once they go to your they see your ad or they see your outreach, they come to your website, they like what you see on your website, so then they leave you their email or they buy your introductory level product, and now you have their email. What do you do? And a lot of entrepreneurs kind of ignore this aspect of this. And this may be the most important part, just because you have customers literally coming in and saying, hey, I like what you're doing. This is my contact info. It's kind of like, you're going to a club or a bar, you meet a really hot girl, she gives you her number, and then you don't call them at all. This is the part of it where you want to keep being in their life, being in their mind. And one great way to do it would be with the example of an email drip. Now, earlier somebody mentioned MailChimp. MailChimp, HubSpot, and Infusionsoft are three really good apps that you can use to manage emails. MailChimp is free, Infusionsoft is pretty expensive, and HubSpot is kind of expensive. So if you're a bootstrap business, I recommend starting out with MailChimp. I think they give you about 2,500 email or contacts for free before they start charging you. And I would create. I wouldn't even worry about a really complicated mail drip for now. If you're just starting out, just getting in the habit of sending them regular emails is just enough. If you can create a series of emails and just have each email drip to each person on your list once a week, that could just be enough. Once a week is the golden rule. You don't want to email them too much, otherwise you're going to be seen as spam. And you don't want to email them too little, because then they'll forget about you.
So once a week, right?
I'm sorry?
Once a week, right?
Yes, once a week. That's the golden rule. And a lot of times, if you are trying to get people to join on a certain thing, the typical process I use, for example, if like my friend earlier who owned the company about the subscription box, if you wanted to create a drip campaign that involved the subscription box conversion, then what I would do is, for all the people who gave me their emails, I would start sending out emails that are primarily 90% informative, 10% sales, for the first 3 weeks. Right, the first email you get a very informative email about snacks from different countries. Like maybe a go on Reddit and like have see those pictures of like what people snack on in different countries, and send that to them. And on the very last email, that's when, on the fourth email at the end of the month, then you can create a 100% or 90% call to action or sales-based email saying, hey, we have this great offer. Don't delay. Sign up now, and you can try this out for 30 days, and just have this email be a really sales heavy email. And once the fourth week is over, go back to your 90% informative, 10% sales strategy. Anyone have any questions on this? Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Incentivizing your customers to sell your product. You know, if you have a great product and people are buying it, customers can be your best salespeople. They already know the value of your product, so give them a reason to get other people to sign up, whether it's through online credits or a video, a testimonial, or even just like having them email you a testimonial and putting them on your website. Give them a reason to get other people signed up, and you can drive impressive growth. You can even make this work with a freemium model. You know, offer a free upgrade to your paid service for 3 months as an incentive. But this is pretty. I feel like this is pretty straightforward. But anyone else have any questions on this? No? Okay. Well, that is the end of this presentation. Again, we broke this down into 3 sections. Spread the word, give them a reason to stay, and then once they stay, keep them engaged. And just to remember, all of the landing page design, customer engagement, and online advertising, they're all related. So if you are doing this yourself, make sure to keep that in mind. Just because you're finished with your website doesn't mean that the work is done. There's always new things to upgrade. There's always new things to test. And if you guys want to work with me in the future, or if you have any other questions, this is my contact info, Peter at growyourfunnel.today. I run a digital marketing agency, and my with what I do, I actually work through the whole funnel. I work on your online ads, I work on your landing page, and I work on social media and customer engagement as well. So if you have any other questions, feel free to send me this email, and I'll stay a little bit later for any other questions.
Yeah, if we have any questions, let me know, or you can type. There was one very generic question, like for bootstrap startup, what shall we do? But because marketing is like usually this problem is arising. I work with many startups. Like, should you spend money more on development if it's a software product app, or put money on marketing?
So this is a very touchy question, and everyone has different responses to that. So the question was, should you spend money on development versus marketing, right? My personal opinion is that if you feel like you got your product market fit down, then you should spend money on marketing. I feel like I worked with a startup that was developing and marketing at the same time, and I was ripping my hair out. It was so frustrating because if you're developing as you're marketing, then you have to change your marketing message almost every week when a new feature is added, or if your company decided to go through a pivot. I think that the best thing is find your identity first, solidify your identity, and then focus on marketing, especially if you are paying for the marketing.
Right. And also one other question from Alexei. Do you have any idea on how to effectively sell a digital product to a target group that is generally reluctant to digitalization? Like
Healthcare. I see. Healthcare is always that great example. I guess the best way, because I used to be in healthcare sales, and the best way for me would, I guess, just this sounds more like a sales issue rather than a marketing issue. And what I did was I basically focused on time, right? Like how much time you can save from X, Y, and Z, how much time you can save from all of this. But so with something like this, I feel like if you can use marketing as a way to help, but in this case, you would have to create a lot of, create a lot of content, putting you as the source, as a subject matter expert leader, and putting you as the leader of like, hey, I'm going to champion this idea because this idea saves time, and all of this reasons should relate to just saving time. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah.
I guess there was a question earlier by Gypsy. How can you cut through the noise and stand out as a business when your model is something that others are doing too? In our case, we're offering subscription boxes. Okay, so that's a really good question, because essentially, you know, every single a lot of different in terms, especially the terms of sorry, I can't talk today. Subscription boxes. I know there's a lot of companies doing that, and this is where niching becomes really, really beneficial for you. When you are if you are focusing on a particular niche, then the trade-off is you're trading off a lower audience for the higher chance that people are more likely to buy your service. So there is a subscription box that I worked with called Nature Fix back here in San Francisco, and Nature Fix is a box that sends out organic healthy snacks to people. So their demographic automatically would be people who are in the health industry, people who are health nuts, health freaks. But you could get more specific than that. I recommended them to go after the people who, like what kinds of people like to subscribe to subscription boxes. Well, it's people who don't have a lot of time on their hands, people who are working, people who don't want to spend a lot of time purchasing. So add that to the health demographic, and then you have yourself a much more niche industry. With someone like you guys who are offering different kind of snacks to different countries, what if you could think of like what else do these people buy, right? Like when I hear about this, the first thing I think about are people who go on Reddit, because Reddit has a huge community of people who like to trade snacks around the world. So if you can picture a Redditor, what other things do they like, right? What other maybe they like to be on the latest internet trend, the latest internet meme, or the latest internet tech, right? Focusing a message that is aimed at someone who wants to be like on the latest internet trend would be a great way to start.
Yeah. So 9gag. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Gotta be creative, right?
Yeah, exactly. Got to be creative.
okay. Yeah. So is there anything else, guys? Maybe we can discuss. Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you guys have my email. If you need any other questions, feel free to reach out to me. And again, Narek, thank you so much for having me on. I would love to do this again in the future.
Yeah. Thanks, Peter.
And yeah, not a problem. You guys have a great day.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks everyone for participating. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye, guys.